What's up, guys? So I am back today to talk about a newer released horror film, and I had not heard very much about this movie. I just saw the poster for it, and I was really looking forward to checking this one out, and I ended up really enjoying it, and the film I'm going to be talking about today is Piggy. Piggy is directed by Carlota Pereda. A bullied, overweight teenager sees a glimpse of hope when her tormentors are brutally abducted by a mesmerizing stranger. So this is a film that, going into it and hearing that premise, can either be executed really well or executed really poorly. And I feel like for the most part, this was executed really well. You know, whenever you're tackling a situation, when there's bullying involved, especially bullying with a person who's overweight, it can come off as like after school specially if it's not handled really well. And I feel like the filmmaking techniques and the performances, especially from Laura Galán, who plays Sara, our lead character, is just so fantastic. She gives such an amazing performance that because of the way that she's delivering her lines of dialogue, her body movements, her facial expressions, that all of it is very believable. It's handled really well, so it doesn't come across as campy or like an after school special, like I said. So the film starts, we're introduced to Sara. Her family owns a butcher shop, and we see some kids from the local school that she goes to, I'm assuming, outside. And two of the girls come in. One of them, you can tell, either knew her previously and that they used to be friends and that they've just kind of separated and she's gotten a little closer to the popular kids. And the other girl is just a really awful, horrible human being who belittles her, treats her terribly. She ends up taking a picture of her, posting on their version of Instagram in the film, and commenting on her weight. And all these kids make fun of her because she is overweight. And really the early parts of the film are just seeing to the extent at which she is being bullied by these kids, while at the same time showing the tensions in her family life and how you can tell that her mother is seemingly caring but also doesn't handle every situation perfectly. Her dad is kind of there, but he's not the perfect parent, and she has a younger brother who you can tell the two of them have a very normal older sister, younger brother dynamic that you would see in any type of movie or even household. And so we get all these character dynamics really early on, and one day she decides to go to the pool. It's summertime, but she waits until the crowds are gone because she's embarrassed to go out there. You can see even like the way she gets dressed in her bathing suit, like she doesn't want anyone to be around. So she gets there and she jumps into the pool, and those kids see her get in there and they come up and they end up attempting to drown her. Well, at the beginning of the film, when the pool is really crowded, we see this like mysterious stranger who sees one of the lifeguards like assault the waitress there by like grabbing her butt and making a lewd remark. And you can tell the stranger is really off put by that situation. And then we cut away to everything else in the introductions. Well, when we get back, these kids try to drown Sara's character by like putting the net over top of her head. They're making horrible remarks to her. They end up stealing all of her clothes and running away. Well, when she dives deeper into the pool, you see in the background that the lifeguard has been tied up underneath the water and he's dead. And so then Sara gets out and she starts taking off for her house. Well, she ends up finding that mysterious stranger's car, and he has abducted those girls who have bullied her and is driving away. And the entire film starts to revolve around this guy is essentially taking an interest in Sara's character and is kind of picking off these awful assholes one by one. And it kind of pokes at you as a viewer as like can you really root against the guy, because all these people are absolutely horrible and completely deserving of what they're getting because they're such awful human beings. And it's a really fascinating film that I think, for the most part, is executed really well. I think where this film falls short for me personally is at the middle part of the film. There's a lot of moments in the middle part of this that sort of lag, where it just feels like it's the same scenes repeated over and over again, where family members from the popular kids' family show up and say, you know what happened to my child, you know why they disappeared, and all this back and forth arguing. And I feel like that was to pad the runtime. It wasn't as effective, where they could have spent more time focusing on these characters and fleshing them out a little bit more. But I think the story is really effective. The third act twist is pretty good. I feel like the movie wraps itself up a little bit too quickly, which is unfortunate because I feel like I enjoyed this world and the characters that were created. I think it's a really interesting premise to show like this idea of bullying and putting a kid who is being bullied in a situation where they can literally decide, do I help out these kids? Do I try to save their lives, they wouldn't do the same for me. They treat me horrible, they treat me awful, and that was a really interesting dichotomy that I think that the filmmakers handled really well. I just don't think it was executed to the best of its ability, but despite that, I still enjoyed the runtime and think if you have the ability to check this one out, you definitely should. So have you seen the film Piggy? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was a pretty good time. It was really different, and I enjoyed the execution of it. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.